All right, we were joined by Alamogordo Track and Field beginning their new season this Friday as they head down to El Paso, Pebble Hills High School. They'll have their first event of the year, and joined by head coach of both the boys and the girls program, Jason Atkinson. Coach, how are you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Pretty good. Happy to have you here. You brought 4 along with you. You want to introduce the group that you brought with you today?
Yes, we have Celso, we have Rebecca, we have Ellary, and we have Gabe.
Okay. How's everybody doing today? Good?
Good. Yeah, pretty good.
Okay, don't be shy. Just get up on the mic. It's all good. Coach, we haven't had a chance to chat since you guys won another state championship last year. And, it was you were very disappointed in the fact that you guys didn't get to compete the previous year. You felt like that team had a great chance to win state, but last year came through and won the Class 5A state title. Talk about that experience with last year's group.
Yeah, well, the year before, we felt the girls, the COVID year, I guess, the girls had a chance to go in a top 3-way, and the boys, I think, would have been so close with us in Cleveland to win it. And we graduated so many of those boys, and, they didn't get that experience. But we move on to the next year, and, it was unique. I don't know which way, was it more challenging to win? Was it easier to win? Did we have, the teams have less kids out? Did they, but then you had to figure the circumstances. So I don't know. I think a lot of the coaching staff thought it was more difficult to win it last year even than a normal year because of everything we had to up against. And that was all schools, But, to win it in 26 points, and I only can see is that day it was, on the girls' side, easy. Like, it was an easy day. There was the girls handling themselves. It was just one race after the other. There was not one event that we really had a letdown. And it was one of the easiest meets I've coached ever. It was just a fun day. And on top of that, and then look at the boys to go 7th. Anytime you go top 8 of the state track meet is exactly the same as a team, making a decent playoff run in a team sport. So even for the guys last year, we had some great performances. And so, it was for the guys to pull that off 7th as well after losing that many guys to possibly be fighting for a state championship had some challenges through the year, but it was just fun. It was a fun year, even with all this stuff going on.
Yeah. And I got to think this year having kind of a normal preparation period, because people, players were going from one sport to the next in the shortened year, to have, a regular run into this year has been nice to have that pattern as a normal track season.
Yeah, it comes back to you pretty quick. We adapted last year fairly quickly too. You don't have a choice; you have to adapt. But now the routine was very much the same. Having that off season, I can tell, has actually helped. There's probably 3 or 4 that have been with me all fall, just doing track only, and I can see there's been a real positive effect of having the strength development, just the general fitness training through the season. Through the fall season. So, I feel it's the only thing I don't like is now we have to welcome back the weather like today and the wind. But looks tomorrow for our pre-meet and for the race day, it looks to be pretty good for us. So. But I feel like the rhythm's coming back, and you get it back after doing it almost 20 years for me. You get it back pretty quick.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. Celso, I don't know how many times we've talked to you throughout the years, either for this or for cross country. First off, what events are you going to be running in this year?
We're probably going to be sticking to 800 mile, 2 mile, and probably a little bit of triple jump sprinkled in there a little bit.
Okay. And any of the relays you're going to be involved in this year?
4x8.
4x8, okay.
Yeah, that'll be it.
All right, very good. And you were 4th at the state meet up for cross country this year, I think. Was that right?
No, it was 6th.
6th, okay. I know it was somewhere in the top 10,
yeah.
But obviously a good result there. Coming out of cross country into track and field, I know it's different, but do you feel like you're in good shape and ready to go for track this season?
Definitely, 100%. I feel like I've just made a smooth transition from cross country to track. I gave myself a good rest in between, and now I'm ready to come back at the track season.
Okay, very good. Rebecca, coming from volleyball to track and field, that's definitely a different feel to it. Is there any correlation there between the two for you, or?
Not at all,
No.
actually. We don't condition as much. he really hits us hard with the weight room, with the conditioning, really getting us into track shape. You don't get track shape in any other sport, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I hear pretty much from the conditioning with Coach Atkinson is a different beast compared to
exactly. There we go.
I'm not normal. That might be part of it.
Well, I wasn't going to say it, but we'll let you. What events are you going to be competing in this year?
We're looking at shot put, of course, and then we're looking at 4x4 right now. I'm in the 4x1 and the 200 open for this next coming meet.
Okay. That's quite a variety there. Usually you don't have your shot putters also involved in running as well. So how did that get started and where you got in that coach get you into those? Or
I know that the throwing coaches, I guess, saw potential in me and just wanted me to come out and try it. And I guess I was pretty okay. Pretty okay. And so they saw that potential, and they're really building it with me, teaching me how the form and all the power I need and how to use my body the right way. And, of course, still training as, like, a sprinting athlete is definitely also improving my shot put form and just both hand in hand.
So
you wouldn't think
one works well with the other?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, that's interesting. I figure maybe having the extra strength and stuff wouldn't help with sprinting, but it goes right along with it.
Well, as like Coach likes to say, you got to put your foot down. Bam! Bam!
Okay, bam, especially like that. Ellary, haven't seen you since cross country. Congratulations on winning an individual state championship. What was that experience like for you?
It was really great. I had always pictured it, but I didn't know if it was actually going to happen, so it felt really, really good.
Yeah? Did you the confidence going into that meet, did you feel like you had a chance to do it?
I did, yeah. I just knew it was only that one meet that mattered, so.
Okay. Yeah. And you got a little bit of experience at Academy earlier in the season, so that helped you out going into that?
Yes, yeah.
All right. So now we had transitioned into track, and you feel like it's been smooth heading into the track season. Obviously, it's a little bit different than cross country, but you obviously did very well in track and field last year as well. So.
Yeah. Something I've been doing after cross country this year was a lot higher mileage, which more so than I've ever done. So I think I definitely feel stronger from that now. So I'm excited for that.
Very good. And which events are you going to be competing in this season?
Probably same as last year: the 800, 1600, 32, 4x8, and 4x4.
Okay. Very good. And we've got in person this time, Gabe Kotter. he had to call in during the interview last time around, so it's good to see you this time. And heading into it, and you've been involved in a lot of different sports throughout. Did I see your name in swimming this year?
Yeah, I did swimming this year.
Okay, and then you also did some cross country as well, right?
Yes,
okay.
I did cross country.
So you've been busy.
I've been busy.
Does swimming help you get into shape for the track and field season?
Yeah, I heard from one of our former athletes, Katie Fillmore. She said that it helped her a lot in her hurdles and her sprinting. So I was like, I'll give it a try, and it definitely helped my breathing a lot. Like I feel like I can keep that like slower breathing more smoothly.
Okay.
Because swim, you're not breathing the whole time, so you have to control it a lot more. So I think that helped a lot.
All right, very good. And so hurdles once again for you this year?
Yes.
All right, so 110 and 300. Mm-hmm. And any other events you're going to be competing in this year? Or?
All those sprint relays and the high jump.
Okay, very good. And you feel like everything that you've done throughout the season has really got you ready for track and field this year?
I do, yeah.
Okay, very good. Coach, we got these four here. Who else should we be looking out for this year? I mean, did you graduate a fair amount from that girls' team last year, or do you feel like you're getting a decent amount back?
Yeah, we definitely graduated some talented middle distance athletes, and in this setup, when you have a 4x8 included with a medley, if you cannot develop 800-meter type athletes, then it's just going to be very difficult. I personally think that the NMA should have made the decision, which I voted when the head coaches had the decision, was to either have the 4x8 or have the medley, but not both.
Yeah.
And I was okay either one. I like both relays, but keeping both, it's we have the state record for the girls, and I think the boys team, especially this year, will be a top 3 type team. We got to find one more strong 800 girl on for that 800 for us to fill that out pretty strong. So we lost a lot in that way. But coming back, though, of course, we had Yvonne. I think she had a little mishap not being able to be here tonight as well. But Yvonne Stinson, she's a big part of the team. we also have actually Ariel Fillmore is coming out to run this year, and not to run, but to throw. She's going to be part of it. Treasure Bates, she is one of the returners that we expect to possibly score in the pole vault at the state meet. And right now she's three-stepping the 100 hurdles in training, which is for a hurdler that is to understand the rhythm. As Gabe would tell you, is huge. It just takes a little bit of time to develop. But, so she's going to be a big part of it. Janae Shakely, of course. She's going to be a huge part of the distance events we expect her to score at the state meet, as well as the 4x8. She has a big, or medley. She has a big part to play in that. We have Gracie Walker, who's returning for us this year as well. And so that's on the girls' side. And anyone who's listening, and I didn't say their name, they're probably mad at me right now, but I do apologize. And then on the guys' side, we have Joey Marquez as a pole vaulter. We have Christian Kennedy that will be out there in the disc and shot. I've heard possibly that one of our wrestlers, Stovall, may be coming out. Aurelio Monreal is going to have to step up. This one is senior year now, and he's going to be our opening leg in our 4x1 this coming weekend. And so we have Omar. He's running cross country. Isaiah Damas. So these are some of the athletes. I think we're having a big impact for our team.
And it's worth mentioning how many kids out this year between the two teams?
Well, it's always a little bit fluctuating right now with basketball ending, maybe wrestling ending a little bit. But, right now, if I had to go back and look at it, we're, close to that 90 mark, which is okay. I know the highest we've ever had was 122 out between the two teams. I think for all sports, it's been a little bit low. I think it's going to take quite a few years to recover from
not having middle school track.
Not just everything the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So,
and worth mentioning, there's so many athletes obviously that are involved in track. So, I guarantee there's probably people that are going to do very well in track that Coach didn't mention there. So,
yeah, I apologize.
Yeah. Gabe, is there certain times you're shooting for in the 100 and the 110 and the 300 this year that you're trying to get to?
In the 110s, I'm looking mid 15s, and the 300s maybe like a 38-ish, 38, 39.
Okay. So, and is that something you just try to build up throughout the season, or you feel like you can get to that early, or what's the feeling?
Probably, I feel like I can get there pretty quickly, because my form, I think this year's looking a lot better than it was last year, and that's a big part of the hurdles, so you can shave a lot of time off in that area.
Yeah. How about high jump? Do you have a mark that you're looking for there? Or?
6'2", 6'4", one of those two.
Okay. All right. Ellary, how about you? What are you looking for in your various distance events?
Right now I'm just going to try to PR, and then I think after this meet or two, I'll be able to set like a time goal.
Okay. So not quite sure yet, but you'll get there. Okay. Rebecca, how about you? What are you looking for in the shot? Well, first, start off with the shot. I mean, is there a distance that you're hoping to get to at some point, or?
I want to start out with state qualifying. Maybe not this meet, but coming up in the next meet, starting gliding and everything. I want to hit that state meet mark and then go from there. Okay. Really pushing it.
All right. And how about the running events for you this year?
Last year, we were runner-up in the medley, and then we were third place in the 4x2, and so I really just want to focus on getting our times up, maybe in some of the relays, individual 200, trying to hit that 27 below mark if I can, just really pushing it.
Okay, very good. Celso, you got numbers that you're shooting for yet? Or?
I do. I am trying to break my 1050 mark or not my 1050, my 950 mark in the 2 mile.
Coach is going 1050, not fast.
And then we'll have my mile. We're trying to stay qualified this time. My past couple of times I was about a second off. It was a little off, but I'm really hoping to hit it this time. And 800, I'm just really trying to break 202, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I may ask Coach this, but ask you, how nice is it to, number one, not have to worry about masks this year, have a little bit cooler weather? How much does that aspect excite you to be doing track in the spring and late winter this year compared to the summer?
It excites me a lot. It excites me so much, because that's really whenever you see all that competition really start to come out and just try their hardest to do what they can with, the opportunities of not having to wear a mask.
Yeah. Rebecca, I mean, you had obviously volleyball had to deal with that, and of course in track last year, I can't imagine. I mean, how difficult was that to try to battle through that throughout the last couple of years?
So last year in track, definitely having those masks, having that hot heat, it really made us a different team. And the remaining athletes that are still here that haven't graduated, really, we're coming back with some fire, definitely. Last year, we obviously won state, and it's because we trained like state champions. And we're coming back training like state champions, and we're going to push our best.
Okay, very good. Made you tougher at having to deal with all those circumstances.
Yes, those challenges, yes, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Ellary, how about you? I mean, having just a normal season where you got 2.5 months to get ready for state, is that kind of a nice thing for you instead of just having the short run up to state like it was last year?
Yeah, for sure. It'll be great to just focus on training and competing this year, so I'm excited.
And no masks is very good as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Trying to run mile, 2 mile, all that is, I imagine.
Yeah, that was hard.
Yeah. Gabe, I mean, you run more of the short distances like Rebecca does. I mean, was that exceptionally difficult for you last season?
And definitely not as much as those distance ones.
Yeah.
Like in cross country, it was way worse than on the sprints, but still, you feel it, especially after the race. You're trying to breathe hard, and you just can't recover, and your body's just tired, and you have to go back out there for another race, but you just can't recover.
Yeah.
And that was the hardest part about it last year.
Yeah. And you throw in the heat more than anything else,
and
right?
And the heat, too. Yeah. Made it much harder to recover between races.
Yeah. Just have to deal with the wind now, but you guys will take the wind over the. I think there's a little bit of debate. We were talking earlier about who do we want, heat or do we want the wind, but you're a senior this year. Is track or one of the other sports something you're hoping to continue after high school, or?
Track, probably.
Okay. Do you have you getting some feelers out there to go and compete somewhere, or do you know yet, or?
No, not really.
Okay.
Yet.
Do you know what you want to do after high school, or not quite sure on that one yet?
I want to become an electrical engineer.
Okay, very good. So, something like New Mexico State, possibly. That's a possibility for you, or
maybe.
Okay. Ellary, how about you? I know we've probably already talked about this a couple of times already this year, but I'm sure cross country is you feel like college, you'll have a chance to compete in college in cross country?
Yeah, both for cross country
And
and
track.
track I want to, yeah. I've been talking to some college coaches, so I'm excited about that.
Okay, very good. And studies, have you thought about that yet, or still working that one out?
Yeah, I don't know about that yet.
Okay. That's all right. Got some time. Rebecca, I mean, gosh, graduation's just around the corner. Are you excited about it?
Very excited.
Okay.
Very excited.
What's coming up next for you?
I'm thinking almost positive about going to Boise State University.
Okay.
I've been talking to some of the coaches there in multiple sports, so we'll see what really happens. Can't say anything definitive right now, but we're looking at stuff.
Okay, so it could be volleyball, could be track and field, could be something we don't even know about yet.
Maybe not that far, but
Okay.
volleyball or track. That looks good.
Maybe you were like a really good bowler, and I wasn't sure. Something like that. No.
No. So sorry.
Celso, we were actually talking before we got started here, but you kind of started to narrow down what you might be doing after high school, yeah?
Definitely. I will definitely be continuing my cross country and track, and I will more than likely end up in Vegas, New Mexico, with Highlands University. Their coach has been there a long time, has a lot of experience, and their school has what I want in music production and everything like that.
Okay, very good. Coach, I mean, we talk about expectations all the time, and you always have exceptionally high expectations for your program. As Rebecca was saying, you guys train like champions because you feel like every year you should be competing for a state championship, right?
Yeah, although, it does take a special group of athletes to come along to do that as well. It's a combination of obviously the coaches putting the athletes in the right spots, having the body prepared and timing of the training and the stresses on the body at the right time. And, you have to then have a group of athletes that can cover 19 events. So it's certainly never a guarantee. And we train and expect the attitude that way all the time. I mean, that does not change. And, you always are aiming for truly a top 5 finish at the state meet. And then on those special years, you bring home a trophy. And on a really special year, you bring home a championship. I mean, that's the realistic view of it. To say, we're going to be state champs every single year. I mean, that's it just doesn't happen. That doesn't happen in any sport anywhere because it's athletics. It's supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be difficult. So, but the attitude, the belief is always that way. And, the special years, you have the group of athletes that come through that can cover it all. Then they continue their attitude. Nothing has changed from year in, year out. And they can handle it. It's not too big mentally for them. They're composed when they get to that moment at the state meet.
Yeah, and of course, district. I mean, how many straight district titles for the girls now?
It's been quite a.
Yeah, it's hard.
Quite a few now. I'd always just talk to the team about when you go into the pit. We have those boards in there, track and field, and it's pretty special. Yeah. When you see all those championships, and there's even probably some on the boys' side from the 70s that we didn't even have up there. And I think there could be some through the 80s and the girls that we don't have up there either. So that board, those two boards could almost be filled, I think, on each side. So 4 total. Anyways, the whole point is I have our athletes, when they walk through their basketball games, to look at that, and this is pretty special. And speaking of district, that's always the first objective. That's the first focus, and we never take that for granted. Last year, Oñate came with the strongest team I've ever seen them have on the boys' side, and our boys performed at that meet. They beat us, and as hard as that is to handle, having ever lost a district championship for me, it was really tough for all of us. But I knew the boys performed well. And they proved it the next week by finishing in a very good, respectable spot at the state meet. So it was hard to take, but at the same time, I knew what we had on the girls' team. So it's a weird feeling as a head coach to have both those emotions on the same day. It's really difficult. And so the boys have a big objective, and it's I think hoping lighting a little fire under them even more so. And I think the girls know about the target that's on their back, and they have to rise the occasion every single time, and they always do. But they're going to get everyone's extra best, and rightly so.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure. All right, so you guys start at Pebble Hills on Friday. The first home meet is the Rollabuck on the 19th of March, and then the Bob Sepulveda Invitational is the 22nd of April. So those are the 2 opportunities you get to see them here in Alamogordo. And we look forward to it. Have a great season, y'all. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.